Hi, I'm Rohit Kauntia from the DLC's Global Committee of Happiness, and I'm based in Hyderabad. I'm here because I completed a graduation program from Happiness Studies Academy run by a Harvard professor, and why I did that is because I feel there is a lot of necessity in the world today to focus on happiness. We realize that we need it, but we don't know how to go about it. So I'm going to talk about SPIRE, which I'll talk in detail in a little while, and explain what it is that I have found helpful when I studied at the academy. It's no coincidence that we all want to be tough, and it is no secret that life for all is rough. This makes us develop layers of protection, and we get more alone, thinking we will not burn. From the world's doing that will forever continue, from the difference of opinion that often leads to the feud. But when we decide to love and be more vulnerable, life's turned differently, like I'm writing my own fable. It's fun to gossip about your own life story. It's easier to deal with things than list them as history. It's simpler to pass off things when they aren't a mystery. And in this process, I bet we'll develop a better chemistry. Well, my poetries can go on, but I'd like to delve deeper into the meaning that we derive from it. We are born as human beings and we are here to live life. But what happens? We become slaves to life. We become slaves to work, slaves to society, slaves to family, do our chores, and forget, that the primary purpose of life is to be happy. Happiness is taken so much for granted that today it is having to be taught as a subject. It is a priority for everyone. Everyone wants it. But we keep focusing so much on other things that we forget that we are also supposed to be happy as human beings. A classic example that I would like to give you is of onions. You know, when we want to keep piling things again, again, and again of life, like piling things related to work, related to society, related to family, related to everything else around us, we cannot get to the core of ourselves. And when we have to do it, then we have to peel layers, and it brings so much tears. So that's the way we are trying to live life. We are piling on, and then you eventually need somebody to show you the mirror and tell you that you're a human being. You're supposed to be happy, and you need to really touch your core to be happy. We never heard of things like depression, cancer, mental health, and such things a few years back. But today, the fact that it is having to be taught is really something that I laugh about. But I'm glad I'm part of the race and community of teachers or tutors or coaches who are taking this step to bring about this difference in this world. Happiness is the primary currency, more important than all your dollars and rupees and everything. But we just have to understand it, and it's such a cliche. I'll give you a small statistic. 50% of happiness comes from genetics. 10% is circumstantial, but 40% is what is in our control. And that is something that we can make a big difference about by being mindful, by practicing gratitude, by positive choices we make, by acceptance, by letting go, and a whole bunch of things. So this is what we really need to focus on if we want to move on in life, have a better life, and keep smiling a little more. Now, finally, I will come to the SPIRE elements and tell you a little bit about it today, so you can understand that they are so simple, so many little things that we all already know about, but you want to hear it from somebody else because you know how to be happy, but you don't know how to be happy. That's the difference. Well, happiness is something that we're having to learn, having to remember, having to work upon today. And that is something that we're really talking about today. But what is the one primary thing that we need to do to become happy today? Well, the first thing that I learned when I started doing the course was that we need to set reminders. We need to have repetitive practices and make them rituals. These are the 3 R's which are applicable for everything in life. When you're setting up an industry, you keep remembering to do everything, getting licenses, getting permissions, setting up processes, getting people in place, and then you keep repeating those things month on month, day on day, so that you know that they're perfect and they become like rituals. Same way, because we have started taking happiness for granted, we need to make sure that we follow the 3 R's. that is reminder, repetition, and ritual. So we know how we need to focus on the importance of happiness and how when we can become happier as we progress in our life. Coming to a couple of things that I did when lockdown started. First thing I did on 24th of March, because lockdown started on 23rd of March in India, without wasting time, uh, I enrolled for a couple of courses because I always had a good positive influence on people around me. So I thought, why not get some formal education in this field and see how I can impact people in a much more bigger way and a much more broader spectrum of people. That's when I realized, that when we started studying, uh, meditation was a very, very strong focus. They say that start with 3 minutes of meditation, take it to 5, take it to 10. And trust me, I am a totally outgoing boy. I love to hang out, I love to party, I love to travel, I love to do all of those things. And I have tons of fun in my life, so much that I don't have time to accommodate new people in my life. But yet, somebody like me found meditation useful. I remember to do it. I kept repeating and I made it a ritual, so much so that today, even when my kids sit around me and I are creating ruckus, I can sit and meditate. Even if there's a ton of people around me at the airport, I can sit and meditate. That's the power of happiness and meditation that can bring about. So, finally, I will now come to SPIRE. What does SPIRE stand for? I'll start with S. S is spiritual. Spiritual life, we all think is boring, and we have to lean towards God or religion, or I think we carry a lot of myths around us. But a purposeful life is a spiritual life, and the best part is it can be free from religion. And you will not realize, the ordinary is elevated to extraordinary through mindful presence. Example, focusing on breathing, focusing on simpler things that we do in life, like walking, listening to music, listening to people around us, and doing other mindful practices. Even somebody like Einstein said, nothing or everything is a miracle. It's totally upon us how we treat life. Like today, when I'm standing here and talking, I think it's a miracle for me. I never thought 2 years back, 5 years back, that it would be happening, and I would have some whatever drop in the ocean effort to contribute towards a happier world. I really feel thankful to God that He's given me this opportunity in life. Next is P, inspire. P means physical. Well, I don't think any prizes for guessing you will get by saying physicality, and having a good physical life is very important, whether it's related to personal life or whether it's related to your body. And mind and body connection is so important that it can help us fulfill so much for health and happiness. A healthy life requires adherence to very, very few things of the given nature, like nutrition, resting. I think resting is something that we really look down upon. We think we just have to keep running around, working 12 hours a day, 16 hours a day, sleep 5 hours a day. But that's not how it works. You have to rest yourself. You have to rest your mind. You have to exercise. Why? Because you are not a potato. You are a human being. And for a better body and better mind, you really need to be to yourself a little kind. Another thing that you will not realize, this is very cute and something that I love the most, is the importance of touch in physical aspects. How many of us really feel that, hugging makes us feel better? I mean, the professor, when I went to meet him in Miami in March, he was hugging everyone, and he says the mantra of his happiness for the last 20 years is hugging people. It is so warm an emotion. When you hug people, you embrace them, you embrace love, and you are embracing life, somebody else's life, another human being around you. It is something so special and so simple, but we don't understand and we look at it so differently. So these are some little physical aspects that really make a huge difference in happiness. Next of SPIRE is I. I is intellect. And I'm sure we are all very intelligent, very intellectual, very oversmart, and things like that. But one little thing that we can add, which many of us forget to do, is curiosity and openness. The more we keep growing, the more we keep closing our minds. The more we keep thinking that, okay, we know everything. That's not how it works. Even during your last breath, you are learning what it means, how you should take your last breath. And there will be so many thoughts that will come across your mind. So when We understand that learning is a process, curiosity is a process that will go on till the last breath. Why do we need to stop learning? So intellect really helps us to live our potential and explore more. This is I. Next I will come to R. This is my favorite, and this is something that is very, very crucial for a full and fulfilling life. It's absolute number one contributor to happiness. It's called relational. The foundation of a happier relationship with others is a happier relationship with guess who? Everybody around you, your family, your spouse, your kids? No, it's with yourself. A person who has a happier relationship with self can do wonders in life. Today, without going to even the second person, I am able to do so much. I am able to focus on loving so much because I have it all inside me. I am obsessed with loving myself, but not in a negative way, of course. But because I'm able to love so much and I have so much of it in me, I'm able to love a million people around wherever I go, whenever I meet people. It's just so simple, and it's something that we don't realize. Sometimes I would like to delve on one aspect over here. We tend to be our own enemies. We are so harsh on ourselves. We make mistakes in life. We do things that we think are not absolutely correct. It's okay. You need to be kind to yourself. You need to be light about it on yourself. Sometimes we get so harsh and so much in a zone that we curse ourselves. We kind of go in depression or have so much negative feelings. My God, how could I do this? It's all right. Everything is all right. If you are going to love yourself, you will get out of it and you will do better. And whatever is happening for good. So, as we nurture ourselves, a capacity for giving and receiving grows. Well, given that we've now understood that relationship is so important, so any guesses what will be E? Well, it is emotional. That completes SPIRE: spiritual, physical, intellectual, relational, and emotional. Delving a little bit into the emotional aspect, there is one thing that we need to understand very, very simply, that all emotions are legitimate, all emotions are acceptable, and all emotions are part of life. What I mean strongly over here is emotions are the outcomes of our thoughts and deeds, and they inform our thoughts and deeds. So, whether it's happy emotions, whether it's angry emotions, whether it's sadness or anger or anything else, we must learn how to celebrate each and every emotion. The moment we start doing it, we will understand how much more control we have over our own selves. The moment we respect all these emotions, it is situational, it will come, it will happen, but our response to it will change. Our prolongivity to it will change. I'll give you an example. I had a big breakup when I was in college, and for some reason I was crying. And this is true, okay. I was crying and I went and I looked at myself in the mirror and I was smiling at the fact that I was able to feel happy about the emotions that I was going through. Even though I was crying, I was in pain, but I could feel happy that I'm feeling that pain because I used to love someone. So I was enjoying that fact and I was smiling. I felt like a fool then, but today I understand that if we are able to celebrate emotions, we will always be happier even about the painful aspects in life. This completes our SPIRE element, and this completes my explanation that we can better deal with anything and everything if we understand that we need to focus inward on ourselves. Love yourself, be grateful to life, take care of yourself, practice a little bit spiritually, and focus on relationships and all the other things that I mentioned. So it will make a very, very big difference in life. 2-3 small things that I would like to add before completing my talk today is that acceptance, letting go, not staying stuck to small things makes such a big difference in life. I'll just tell you a small story, and this is, again, I don't know true, but it's a mythological story that I really love. It has a nice pretty girl also in it. So there were these two monks, a young fellow and an old fellow, and they were just walking along the forest and they were supposed to cross a river. Now what happened is they saw a nice pretty girl along the shore who wanted to cross the river also, but was having some difficulty. Now guess what? The monks, they have taken oath not to touch any woman or any lady for that matter. So how can they help? They thought of multiple things and they could not come up with anything. So what the older monk did was he helped and carried the woman across the river and he left her there. And they continued to walk and they kept walking, 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 walking. Now guess what is going on in the other monk's mind, the young fellow. Suddenly he asked the older monk that, why did you do that? Why did you carry a woman when we are not supposed to carry or touch a woman? And the simplest, sweetest reply that you can think of from the older monk was, why are you carrying that thought in your mind when it got left behind? This is so important for us. We carry so many things in our mind which are not relevant and we are not able to let go. And we keep taking them along with us in life. But if we are able to let go and have simple things around us, then life will be much more simpler, happier, and I'm sure all of us can smile more and make a positive world around us. So continuing from the story, we need to realize what we need to take forward with us and what we need to leave behind. And the moment we start looking at the positive things in life, I'm sure we will be able to smile more, be more happy, and take life in a more positive stride. I would like to really thank DLC for this opportunity, for letting me talk and express my views and my learnings and share them with the global audience. And I do hope that I can contribute like a drop in the ocean to make a more smiling world around me. Thank you so much.